And say this one more time. But welcome to our new chapter presidents and advisors. This is our first chapter presidents and advisors meeting for the 2026 year. Different than our TMN Tuesdays, you are able to share your video and we'd love to see your face to get to know you a little bit more as a chapter leader. You're also able to unmute. We do ask that you stay muted during the presentation, and then you can unmute yourself at the very end if we do have time for discussion afterwards. That helps to make sure that we've got make sure that our audio doesn't get interrupted by accident. We are also recording the presentation today, and just like our TMN Tuesdays, we'll be sharing the recording, the slides, and any chat or notes that are relevant to today's presentation on our website within about a day after the event. And so then with that, Michelle, I'll let you tell us about today's meeting.
Okay, you can see we have a lot of things we want to cover with you today. We tried our best not to do double duty and cover the same things in the same way that we did in December with our crossover meeting with both exiting and incoming presidents and advisors. And then also we covered a lot of things in our TMN Tuesday state of the program earlier this month. So we're trying to bring pertinent things to you through this meeting today, as you saw by the agenda, but also not double covering things that were covered in other meetings as well. We'll mention a couple things, but to get started, these, as I mentioned in my message to you on Friday, these meetings happen monthly. The contact lists for these meetings were pulled from our VMS, our TMN VMS system. And this time I included on all of the meeting, the WebEx meeting invites, your past presidents from last year, and then your current presidents for this year, everyone that was marked in the system at least by Friday, and then all of your advisors as well. So that is the invite list here. These meetings are normally 1 hour long. Then we may go past in some busy months. We try to keep cognizant of your time and keep the meetings focused and on time. There will be a monthly email reminder. Everybody on this message, or everybody that received the message, has been added to the WebEx meeting reminders for the entire year already, except for the crossover events that are TMN Tuesdays as well. You will need to register for those yourselves. We mentioned we record these meetings as we are doing now. Notes and slides, notes when taken, will be provided on our website after the meeting. When there are any follow-up items needed, we'll cover those in a post-meeting email as needed. And then your time for attending these meetings, either if you attend them live, or if you can't attend them live and watch the recording later, it is eligible for volunteer service time. So this is the list of the meeting dates for this year. That was in the email that I sent out. It's also in the WebEx meeting reminders too. Okay, so we talked a little bit about December, and we had exiting and incoming officers for the new year on that meeting. It is the new year now in January, so hopefully by we're in the last week of the month, so hopefully your chapters have all met at some point this month as a new board for the year, or your board for the year. And if you haven't met yet for the month, you got a couple more days to complete that action as a new year. So how is your transition going for 2026 so far? Has your chapter had a board retreat? And have you talked about your top goals for this year, the new year 2026 for your chapter? So I'll give you just a couple seconds to add any of your top goals into the chat as we transition to the next slide. And then as you're comfortable dropping any of your chapter goals that you've come up with over the next year into the chat, just a little bit more information about that leadership transition and where we pull the information for these meetings, the contacts for these meetings for your board presidents and your chapter advisors. So we pull all that from VMS. There is a tab. So your VMS administrator at the local chapter level will need to help with updating your chapter board if they haven't already in VMS in the context. So there is a user-defined tab and a TMN officers and committee tab. And once you get to that location, the picture that you see on the right is where your chapter admin for VMS would make updates to each individual board member and committee members information to keep it update for this year. And then also add any history of past service to an individual's record as well. One reminder for this new year, if all your new chapter directors and board members will need to sign the board conflict of interest form if you haven't done so already. So as you're doing your new year tasks with your board, and if you're a new member, if you have new members that are coming onto the board and haven't signed the conflict of interest form before, they will need to complete that action very soon. So the QR code here at the screen takes you to that conflict of interest form. So as leaders for your chapters, chapter presidents and chapter advisors, please help ensure that all your new board members, all of your board members in general have a conflict of interest form, signed conflict of interest form on copy and on file at your chapter level for the new year.
Michelle, summarizing some of the responses in the chat to chapter goals, there's been a couple of repeats of membership retention, a couple of repeats of more new experiences for their members, which I also think feeds into some of that member retention, adding in some social events outside of the chapter that allows for that relationship development, again, focusing into that membership retention. There's some great internal goals for creating new channels for communication, working on big projects. There's a hiking trail I saw in here that's planned. So looks like a lot of really common goals across the state between your chapters. And so I hope you're able to read through some of these and see some of those commonalities as well. And Dan, you certainly don't need to send us your chapter goals. But it is always great if you want to drop them in after your board retreat, send them to Michelle, Hannah, and I. We'd love to see them and cheer you on from the state office.
And Dan, you might also be asking about the conflict of interest forms with that question too. We don't need to have those at the chapter level, at the state level, but at your chapter level, if as a leader of your chapter, if you could help ensure that everyone on your board has signed one and that is on file locally. And then Rosalia, we did not have a deadline set for that, but to me, we haven't ever posted a deadline for those, but to me, it seems appropriate to maybe have the same deadline of the bylaws adoption this year, guiding documents this year. So I think that's April 1st. No fooling. And so that seems like just appropriate to have all those documents completed by that time where possible.
Okay, keep going, Michelle.
Okay. One of the common slides we have that we show every year for our presidents and advisors, especially people who are new kind of to their leadership role in the chapter, is who to call for what question or where to go for what questions when you have them. And so we have, first and foremost, we've set up our website as we've always called it the kitchen sink of all information. If there's been a frequently asked question in our history with the program, we try to have that information posted on the website or have the website address that FAQ in some form or fashion. So we request that when you do have questions, please try to utilize the website as much as possible to sleuth out that question, even if it's helping a member find the answer to a question. Things that are there, so highlights of some things that are there on the website are guiding documents, which would address chapter policy questions, election and voting questions. Also on the website is events registration information for things like our annual meeting, TMN Tuesdays, virtual volunteer fair, things like that. Our meeting recordings are typically posted there on Naturalist News, kind of be the first place to check for those, and then other designated areas depending on the topic. Our TMN listserv, if you want to get signed up for the listserv, there's information there. Annual meeting information, that's always the go-to place to find anything out about the annual meeting. There is a tab on our website. And then TMN curriculum ordering through the TAMU Press, but we have links on the website for all of that information. And then any naturalist, Texas Master Naturalist gear, again, there's links from the website. Moving on to some of your advanced questions and state program staff. If you have additional chapter management issues that can't be addressed through the documents and discipline action or incident reports and advanced policy questions, contact myself and Mary Pearl. And then Hannah, you would go to Hannah with any chapter needs on chapter training resources, TMN brand and logo questions and review. And then Hannah is our go-to for the state program to chapter communications and chapter to state program communications, general communications. Another link on our website is our VMS help desk. But there are additional resources at the help desk, such as our VMS administrative guide, a request for a new account in VMS and training, that'd be an admin account in training, VMS reports. As I mentioned, all of this is linked on our website on the 4 chapters tab there at the top. And then technology items, with chapters, so our program has provides chapters the opportunity to utilize the website template for their websites. So AgriLife First Call would be the go-to for any problems or technical difficulties encountered with that chapter website issues. And then for Pollinators for Texas, our Pollinators for Texas project, Christian Lopez is our student aide with that project. And so Christian would be a contact there for you on Pollinators for Texas questions. Excitement. Right, there's our contacts. I know you all have this information already and have been using it. Thank you. And thank you for keeping in touch. And then moving into 2026 planning. So one of the slides we did cover in our TMN January State of the Program, a kind of address, was our priorities for 2026. And just want to go over those with you again as leaders. One of the reasons we have these meetings with you as leaders of your chapter is that so you can help increase communications from our state program to your chapter membership. And so we see you as not only leaders of your chapter, but another link in that communication process. So some of the priorities we have for 2026 is we've already did a lot of updating of our governing documents. And we'll go over the process for those in some more detailed slides coming up. We have our Conservation Wranglers project with the Texans by Nature that we're working on, which is our Texas Master Natural Strategic Plan. Some more to come on that in this year. Our Pollinators for Texas project is ongoing with a mid-year report coming up and then a project launch coming up this year as well. And then another big priority for this year is our Master Naturalist curriculum update. We're working through the final revision of those manuscripts. and with completion coming up in 2028. So we have another slide on this specifically, but the curriculum is a multi-year project, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then obviously another multi-year project is our TMN VMS update. The VMS started going through an update process 2 years ago now. And so we're still in that process. Looking forward to this year seeing some closure in that process and final updates. One of the things that we covered with you in December was in what we've been working on for the past 3 years is a triennial review of our Master Naturalist governing documents. That included all of our major governing documents for the program, which includes our Code of Ethics and Standards of Conduct, our Texas Master Naturalist bylaws, our Chapter Management Operation Protocols, which we lovingly call our CMOP, and then an update of the Chapter Operating Handbook, our COH. So a reminder, if you go to the next slide, please. A reminder that we started this 3-year review process. It was put into place beginning in fall of 2022. And so now all of the TMN governing documents and guiding documents are on a 3-year review cycle. The last version of the documents went into effect in 2023. And the next version went into effect in this year, 2026. And so for now, through these next 3 years, we'll be operating under these documents, but also taking your feedback over the next 3 years for any edits that may need to be made and updated in 2028 for the 2028 version. So we covered in detail the changes to the documents in December. The documents are now in process and we are using these documents in 2026. And then I mentioned the feedback cycle we're receiving feedback over the next 3 years to be considered for the next iteration of the documents in 2028. And we have a feedback form for that. So any feedback that or anything that your chapter believes needs to be considered for an update for that 2028 version would be submitted through this governing documents feedback form. And so we've already received a couple of those already this year as your chapters are implementing and going through this process of adopting the new bylaws and utilizing the updated documents over the course of this year already. So just remember that form, when you do have suggestions that you believe need to be made, work with and through your chapter to provide comments and feedback collected through the website. So this is the best place for us to collect all that information in one area. Okay, there's a lot on this slide. And
I can go through this one. Yeah, if you want me to. Yeah, I put this slide together just as a quick summary of the adoption process. So on our website under the Naturalist News, about 3 news blogs back is our adoption process. This was linked heavily throughout emails that were sent out to chapter presidents before the new year. And so this is just a summary of that process, that our chapter bylaws, the CMOP, and the COH are all new, along with the Code of Ethics and the Standards of Conduct that Michelle just talked about. There is a bylaws adoption process that must be followed by every chapter. And it's a pretty easy, I think it's about a 4-step, 5-step process that is easily outlined on that website that goes through selecting the correct bylaws option. You can be a chapter with either a 501c3 or not, and be a chapter that uses the 12-month term or the 24-month term option. And so once you have those selected and submitted that option form, it'll auto-generate a bylaws for you to document for you to then insert your chapter name into and move forward into the membership vote process, which is also outlined on that page. We tell you everything that you have to do. Once that chapter bylaws locally has been adopted, we ask that you notify us and send us back a "we have done this" check mark box through the bylaws submission form or the adoption form. We're asking that to be done by April 1st. We understand that there are some chapters that have varying chapter meeting dates based off of the first couple of months of the year. Stay in communication with us more than anything else. Let us know what you're doing, or if there's a delay, or if there's a concern as you're going through your bylaws adoption. Again, our goal is to have all 48 chapters with updated bylaws adopted by April 1st. If there is a delay that you are anticipating, please send Michelle or myself an email so that we can keep track of that and be aware of that going forward. And that way, we also don't send you emails constantly asking for updates. The other two documents, the CMOP, there is no adoption process. There is no chapter input needed there. That is a new document that all chapters must adhere to starting January 1, 2026. Strongly suggest that you review it. We provided both the red line and the clean version of the document on our website, so you can see explicitly where we made changes to the CMOP. And then finally, the COH, that's probably the bigger piece of work for chapters. Hopefully your COH from 2023 is right as rain. And you can just do a comparison to the updated 2026 COH template that's provided on our website. There's also a form, a submission form on that adoption process that we ask that you complete within 30 days after adopting your updated COH. So if you've got questions on those, you can use that feedback form that Michelle was talking about. You can also send her and I an email as you're going through the governing documents adoption process. We have tried to step by step outline it as best as we can for y'all. Michelle also did a really deep dive at the December 2025 TMN Tuesday. And that TMN Tuesday recording is linked here. She walked through every single update, change, major change, minor change for all five of those documents, excuse me, the Code of Conduct, Standards of Ethics, CMOP, bylaws, and COH on that. Those slides are also linked on the YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you do have to click more to get to these links for the bylaws and the brand guide slides. But Hannah can drop those links in the chat for y'all as well, so that you've got a clickable, easy access for those documents. But we've tried to give maybe too much information, but what master naturalist doesn't like way too much information upfront and early. So that's been the process that we've gone through as we're updating these and moving forward into the adoption process. Michelle, you want to cover this one?
Yeah. So just we'll be doing this each month, a little product report, just as a communication piece back and forth, to show you what we have received or have not received, in communication with your chapter regarding the adoption of the documents, specifically bylaws. So what you see here is the shortest list. So the list on the left is the chapter bylaws option selection. So that's the first item of business in the adoption list, items to-do list, is to request the form with the different options, whether you're a 12 or 24 month officer, or
Term.
a 501c3 option document. So that's the first item of business towards adopting the bylaws at your local chapter level, is submitting that request for the form on the website. And so the list of 17 chapters that you see here on that left are chapters that we have not heard from yet, or the form, we haven't received your information through the form. It doesn't mean that you haven't worked on it. You may have, but we haven't received your request through the form on the website yet. So if you see your chapter's name on the left hand side, which is the first part of the process, just take note and you don't have to let us know now, but let us know at some point where you're at in the process of requesting those documents. And then the column that you see on the right hand it's the list of chapters that have fully gone through the process through to adoption. So the 4 chapters on the left have completed the process and fully adopted the new bylaws. So what questions do you have for us on this slide?
And we know that some of y'all haven't even had chapter meetings in the new year yet. So we're early in this. We just wanted to, like Michelle
And
said,
weather
kind
may
of,
has affected that too.
yeah, we're keeping this as a checklist, not only for ourselves so that we're following through and checking with all the chapters, but also just making sure that we've got full transparency in the process here as well. While we're waiting for some chat, some other documents that Michelle and Hannah and I and the team are working on that we do have updated movement on. This is what we've been affectionately calling below the line or additional operating resources on our governing documents website page. Hannah did a big update of the brand guide that was also presented during the December TMN Tuesday presentation. She's already dropped the YouTube and the resource slide links in the chat for you on that. And she'll share a few common questions that she's received on the brand guide here in just a second. We're also working on the guidance for citizen science volunteer service hours. That's been requested a number of times. And so we're in final update of that document, hoping to have it early this spring. But we've reviewed it. We're working through those final stages, and we'll let you know as soon as we have that updated guidance for citizen science hours, as well as the other one that is that is completed is the best practices for photographing minors. That has been added to the website, and that one also got incorporated into the brand guide update at the same time that one came out. So we'll be working through the rest of them, the records retention policy, the insurance and liability, discipline and removing members update, and then the chapter conflict of interest. So right now, while you're filling out the chapter conflict of interest, you're using the previous version, and we won't make that updated on that below the line governing document until later this year. Okay, and then Hannah, while there's some more chat and questions coming in, you want to share some of those frequently asked questions?
One second, Mary Pearl, can you go back to the form where it shows the form to request the documents? And then I think there's a QR code there.
The adoption process?
Yes. So there was a question in the chat about where to find the form to request the documents. And so I think that QR code will take you to the site that has the form.
I don't think I can copy it in, but Hannah can copy it into your response there, Katie.
Yep. That QR code will take you directly to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, so these are some of the common questions we've had come in, both during the TMN Tuesday and just in emails post TMN Tuesday, about what exactly you need to send to us for approval and what exactly you can approve at the chapter level. The first mention of that is on page 8 of the brand guide. It is mentioned in a couple of places, just for keep reminding you, keep that consistency. But all merchandise, so that'd be shirts, hats, bags, mugs, things like that. And we're calling them long-term marketing materials. So banners that you use repeatedly, yard signs that would be out for a long time, tablecloths, brochures that you use for a while, things like that. Those are the items that must be sent to the TMN State Program Office, which is the fancy way of saying me, for approval prior to production. What you don't need to send to us for review are those short-term marketing materials. So think event flyers and things like that, something that's just for a one-off event. Those don't need approval from us at the state office, but they must be approved by either yourself as the chapter president or your communications director. So they do need to be approved at your chapter level. You just don't need to send those to us. Pages 17 and 18 of the brand guide shows some what to do, what not to do examples for flyers, brochures, merchandise, things like that. And when we say you must send it to us for approval, what we mean is a completed mock-up. So the front and back of what the shirt's gonna have, or the sign and the logo's already on there, everything's ready to go. You just need to make sure, you need to send it to us so we can make sure that everything looks good and we can approve it. So a completed
it goes to
mock-up
the
of the item is what you need to send.
And Hannah did a great deep dive into the brand guide and updates and the importance of consistency with our brand and logo in our December TMN Tuesday crossover president's meeting. So
Missed
for
it.
more information, check that, check the brand guide. Yeah, those
Beginning is kind
resources
of a
are always.
big explanation of why this is so important. So if you missed that, there's also kind of a fun little game at the beginning of it. So go back and watch that if you haven't seen it before.
There we go. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to keep us going as we've got a few more slides here to cover. Some other updates, priorities that Michelle mentioned that we have as a state office is our Conservation Wrangler project that we're working on with Texan by Nature. It is a multi-year strategic planning process that the state office is going through. We sent out a number of surveys last fall, and thank you for every one of you as chapter leaders and as individual TMN members who filled out those surveys. Of course, we're going to incorporate your responses, your direction, and build the strategic plan with you as our membership in mind to move forward into the next several years. And so we're in deep data analysis. We had over, I think it was 1,700 active members respond to the survey. All of our chapter leaders responded to the survey. And so many more. So we're, like I said, in deep data analysis right now on that strategic plan with the goal for completing that in September 2026. We'll keep you updated on, as chapter presidents, on the status of the Conservation Wrangler project, and then be presenting, hopefully in October, we'll be presenting the updated strategic plan for the Master Naturalist program at completion. That next big project that we started to chew on last year is our update for our statewide curriculum. Last published in 2016. It is a 10-year anniversary of that manual, and so it is time for us to make those updates. Michelle and I are taking lead on working through the raw manuscripts for each of the units and making those updates, working with each of those authors. The thing that I need you as chapter leaders to know and to assure your membership is that we will share updates when we get to the next stage of development for the curriculum, and we don't expect completion until at least 2028. And that is a little bit of an aggressive timeline with the press production process that we're going through with a book that is 24 units and 761 pages. So there is no firm timeline. It is just that we're asking for patience. And again, we will continuously try to provide updates with y'all as we do reach major timelines and milestones in that production process. Michelle, you want to cover pins?
So those of you who might be new to your roles, we have a recertification and milestone pins ordering process that is online now. So orders for certification certificates, 250-hour pins, 500, 1,000, 2,500 hour pins, milestone pins, our Friends of Master Naturalist pin, and then any the current year recertification pins that's available for order online through the AgriLife Learn store. Each chapter already has an account set up to be able to order those at that location. And then anything that is 4,000 hour, a milestone pin that is 4,000 hours and above would be ordered through me. And there's a form on our website. That QR code there takes you directly to that form to order. it actually takes you to the page that talks about both of these items, either ordering everything at the first bullet or ordering everything at the second bullet through me. That can be done on our site. One note is that our Presidential Volunteer Service Award, that is an additional award that our Master Naturalists receive or are eligible for when they reach that 4,000 hour service mark. And that program, the Presidential Volunteer Service Award program, in PINS ordering has been on a pause since last year. It is not something we can control, our state program can control. It has been on a national pause, and there's no ETA of when it would be unpaused at this point. So this affects, so any of our members that had reached the 4,000 hour milestone from about November 2024 through all of last year and even currently up to current, our 4,000 hour awardees are just continuing, their names are continuing to go on a list. And I will, when and if the program does open up again, I will order pins for all those who are on that list in the event that it does open up again. So
I'd like to make a comment.
Our Master Naturalists will still receive the 4,000 hour TMN pin.
Hey, Mary Beth.
I have a question. Are people still receiving a pin if they earn 4,000 and more?
Yes, they
They're
are still
receiving a Texas Master Naturalist Dragonfly pin.
Oh, that seems a little confusing.
The Presidential Volunteer Service Award, the Circle pin, is not available at this time.
That's a separate award program that we opt into to recognize our volunteers above and beyond their Master Naturalist service.
Okay.
We do recognize them with their Master Naturalist 4,000 hour and above service pins, as Michelle said, but that's just a separate award that we've opted into in the past.
And there is no other vendor for those.
So
those
they
pins.
receive the 4,000, 5,000, and 10,000 pin.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. It was a little confusing to me.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So as Michelle mentioned, ordering those, everything below 4,000 hours does happen on our AgriLife Learn page. And you should have a chapter account logged in, and you just use that search bar to search for Master Naturalist pins. And that will get you your everything below 4,000 hours, including those recertification pins. And I think it was Lisa, you beat me to it by a slide or two. But our Bobcat pin, our 2026 recertification pin, has been placed into the bookstore, but it's going to be turned on. I'm hearing it'll be the first week of February that you will be able to order those pins. And I'll send out a note to all chapter presidents as soon as that inventory item gets turned on in the AgriLife Learn store to be able to start ordering your 2026 recertification pins. We also have a little bit of an early notice here, but we'll talk about it more in just a second. Our Bobcat will get a deep dive during our February TMN Tuesday. And so excited to get to learn more about the Bobcat as a species, to learn more about that recertification pin that you'll be earning this year.
So if you haven't seen it, we have all of those dates for this year's TMN Tuesdays posted, obviously except for October, because we're going to do another live at the annual meeting broadcasted TMN Tuesday. So those dates are TBA. But for everything else, we have those announced. They're up to 1 hour of advanced training, sometimes more, depending on what that month's topic is. We announce those topics monthly. If you noticed, we're 2 weeks out, and so the 2 weeks announcement for our Bobcat TMN Tuesday went out this morning. And those are all recorded and added to that TMN Tuesday page on the website. I just dropped that link in the chat, and that's also where you go to view past year's TMN Tuesdays, register for all the TMN Tuesdays. Everything TMN Tuesday is on that webpage. You want to go to the next slide. For As we mentioned, February, if you were at the annual meeting, then you've already heard this presentation, but you know it's a good one and it's one that's worth repeating. But Richard is going to talk to us about our 2026 recertification pin, which is the Bobcat. So get excited for that. Tell your members to get excited for that because, again, if you're at the annual meeting, you know it was a very fun presentation. So that's
And
for our
Richard has
February
promised
one.
updates as well. So
Oh,
even
I haven't
more,
heard that
more
yet.
information and research.
There will be updates. So get even more excited for that. Some common TMN Tuesday frequently asked questions that we get. When are they available for AT hours? When are they not? 2026 TMN Tuesdays are available for advanced training hours. Any previous years are not. So you can still go back and watch previous TMN Tuesdays. They're all at the very bottom of that TMN Tuesday page, but those will not count for advanced training. Only the current year's TMN Tuesdays will count for advanced training. Do you have to be a master naturalist to attend? No, you do not. If you have a friend that you know loves bobcats, let them know that we have this coming up in February and they can either attend live or watch the recording as well. So you do not have to be a master naturalist to attend. Yes, all the events are recorded, added to our YouTube, typically that same afternoon, sometimes the day after, just depending on how busy everything is. And they all get linked back to that TMN Tuesday page. Do you need to register every month? Yes, but you can register in bulk. You'll see at the very top of that TMN Tuesday page, there's a link, and you can just go ahead and register for everything we already have up there. I think October is the only one we don't have scheduled, again, because it's very TBD. But everything else is ready for you to register for. And then for logging your AT for those TMN Tuesdays, they follow that same 45-day rule for logging advanced training hours. And so with all that, for the frequently asked questions, let us know if there are any topics you're interested in hearing, if there's any kind of advanced training that you've heard your members are wanting to get more experience in, and just feel free to shoot all of us an email letting us know, hey, I'd be really interested to hear this, or if you had someone at the annual meeting or come to your chapter that you felt like had a really good topic that would apply statewide, feel free to send us that information as well.
Yeah, we'd love some feedback on that to incorporate into future TMN Tuesdays as well.
Still me. So another thing on the website is our 2026 volunteer training class information. You can see you can get to it from the home page there. It has one of those little icons. A lot of our chapters have already put in their training, but if you have not, you can go to our website and go to this page. It's also on the Naturalist News page. There's a couple ways that you can get to it, but if you go to the next slide, you can see who has already submitted their training for 2026, or spring training for some. And yeah, if you haven't put it up there, just let us know. Fill out the form. It's at the bottom of the page that was linked on the previous slide, and I'll drop that link in the chat in a second. But basically, this is just a way if someone is interested in joining training and is trying to find their local chapter and they're on our website, this gets them to all the information on your website. So just another way to kind of funnel people into your website and let them know about the upcoming training opportunities. And speaking of training, and also I saw some people mention communications in their goals. Speaking of communications, you all should have received some emails yesterday afternoon. We will be doing our training class director roundtables again. We'll be doing 2 in 2026, one on April 21st at 12, and this one will be recorded and put on the website, and then one live at the annual meeting. And we'll also be doing 2 communication director roundtables. That one will be May 5th at 12 p.m. and then another one live at the annual meeting. So for presidents out there, these were sent to both you and your training directors and your communication directors as listed in VMS. If you don't think your current training directors or communication directors have updated their VMS yet, maybe go ahead and forward that email to them. But we did send that out yesterday. So with the meeting information and everything, and hopefully there'll be some good conversations again. Last year's went really well, so we're looking forward to these.
I can cover this. So we also like to share during our chapter presidents meetings celebrations that are happening. If you are a chapter that is celebrating in 2026, celebrating an anniversary in 2026, share with Michelle or Hannah and I some of your plans. Send us an email about some of your celebrations. We'd love to have those, join if we're able to, or celebrate and share those with other chapters that are asking as they're working to plan towards their anniversary celebrations as well. So 2026 does have 8 chapters with major anniversaries. And then we've got some big ones coming up, some big milestones next year as well. So if you're one of the chapters in the right-hand column, now might be the time to start thinking about some of your 2027 planning for your chapter anniversary, or start listening in on those chapters that are celebrating this year to start thinking about what you're going to do next year. So excited to celebrate frequently with our chapters.
And we had
the
a
next
lot of, sorry, just a lot of chapters celebrate. We had 16 chapters celebrate this past year in 2025. And so there's a lot of these celebrations just keep getting better and better. So connect with chapters that celebrated last year also to get their ideas and new things that they tried for your upcoming celebrations.
Absolutely. And happy to share those contacts if you're looking for a local chapter that recently celebrated. Some more major updates on our pollinators for Texas. We did share these on the state of the program, but Krishan asked that I reiterate this with our chapter leadership today. So our 2024 project awards, we had a final award annual report that was generated from those chapters that received the very first round of Pollinator for Texas funding in 2024. That annual report is on our website, accessible by that QR code, or you can also find it on the main PFT Pollinators for Texas page. If you are a chapter that was awarded in the 2025 award cycle, that means that you were awarded last fall. You were just sent an email, or your project coordinator was just sent an email this last week reminding them of the mid-year report that is due at the end of this week. It's a simple Google form mid-year report to walk through the updated information on things that you've accomplished halfway through your Pollinator for Texas project so far, or let us know that you're working on planning your next half of the year if you are a spring celebrating or spring planting chapter. Krishan's also asked me to remind everybody to send photos. Those are really, really important for not only his reporting, but also for our reporting back up to HEB, our partner, our funder for this project. And in order for them to have access and use those photos and their press as they're celebrating this initiative partnership with us, we do have to have those media release forms signed by everybody in the individual photos. While onerous in process, it ensures that clarity of the use of those photos for HEB. And then last but not least, you see that we've got 3 major bullets here. Our third major bullet here is that we do have some updates coming early this spring on a 2026 project award application period, a 3rd year iteration of this partnership with HEB. Excited to see them reinvest and continue to invest in the Master Naturalist programs and projects. And so we do anticipate some more information about that project funding award to come in. It'll come out, but way before April, but to be open and released in April. So excited to share some more of those. Yeah.
Some quick tips for those media release forms. When you are going out to work in the garden, either have a digital copy that you can copy and have people sign, or print out some physical copies and just have those on you so that while you're there in the field, right after you take the photo, you can get everybody to sign. Also, don't be afraid to have just like 1 to 3 people in the photo. So then even if you have to find people after the fact, it's not a whole group, it's not as many people that you need to get in contact with and have them send you that form back. So just some tips and tricks to make it a little bit easier on that side, because I know it could be a little bit tricky to hunt people down after the fact and get them to sign forms. And just a reminder that we can use the photos you send us. So if you have a big group photo and you can't get everybody to sign the form, still send that to us. It's just HEB needs that form signed for everybody for the photos that they use. So some tips and tricks.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. There's some questions in the chat that Hannah, if you could check out for us, please. But April is a busy month. We regularly try to remind our chapter presidents to think ahead towards April, as it is our National Volunteer Month. It also houses National Volunteer Week, Earth Day, our major VMS, our major virtual volunteer fair is our TMN Tuesday, and City Nature Challenge. And it's a prime time for spring planting and spring engagement and so many activities. So not to scare you out, just know we know that you know that we know that April is a very busy month, and to start thinking about it now, as you're engaging in your chapter activities. So one of those activities that does make April very busy is our virtual volunteer fair. We celebrated at the beginning of April, or the second Tuesday of April, as part of our National Volunteer Month celebration. Started during the pandemic years. Virtual Volunteer Fair is a way for us to connect those virtual and distance-based service projects with Master Naturalist volunteers who are looking for ways to get hours over the hot summer months, possibly, or at a distance from the comfort of their home, depending on their accessibility levels to outdoor activities. So a wide variety of projects will be presented. Our request at this time is to save the date. We will be sending out more details about this before our next chapter presidents meeting. I'm hoping to get this released in early February. But when we do release that, help us to share the project proposal request out to project leaders in your area that might be looking for some virtual and distance-based volunteers moving forward. And then thinking way ahead, although it feels way ahead, it'll be here tomorrow in so many ways, is our October annual meeting. I don't have a final date for you. I'm hoping to share that again in February. We'll have some major updates, hopefully, before our next chapter presidents meeting. But our 2026 annual meeting is scheduled to happen in October in Waco, Texas. We're really excited to be in that bisecting crossroads of the Blackland Prairie, the Edwards Plateau, right there along I-35. So lots of really great opportunities for field sessions and speakers, as it's so centrally located in Texas as well. Okay, and I'm moving fast because we are running close to time. And again, we will share these slides. So if you do have to jump off before we're able to wrap up today, don't worry, that recording and the slides will be on the website soon. And speaking of the website, Hannah, you want to tell us about all the things on the website?
As Michelle mentioned at the very beginning of this presentation, we call it our kitchen sink. If you have a question, it is probably answered on there. So don't be afraid to use that search bar, find what you need to find, and just click around. You'll find a lot of information on there. That Naturalist News tab is where we post the recording from today's meeting, but also just a lot of general updates as things come up. And also another very important thing, especially for any newbies, is that email listserv that we have. It's under that 4 chapters tab. And remind any new members coming into your training class that they should sign up for that email listserv. That's one of the first places they will get information for TMN Tuesdays, for annual meeting, once all that information starts coming out. Also, just people from our partners can send event information across that email listserv as well. So it's a great wealth of information, and we recommend signing up for that. And then also just a reminder, the VMS help desk is on there, the chapter documents page, all kinds of information on that website.
Okay. Speaking of websites, so our chapter websites are hosted on the same WordPress domain that our state website is hosted on. And so we are all going through this website transition in tandem, both our state website and our chapter websites that are utilizing our WordPress domain hosting. There is a server migration that's going to happen before the end of February. It'll happen overnight and you won't even know that it's happened. It is simply moving the hosting and the storage of our websites from one site within AgriLife to another site within AgriLife. We are telling you about it because it will happen. It will not change anything. It will not look any different. But we didn't want to keep that from you as we are making that domain changeover, or that server migration changeover, excuse me, not domain, server. It is to help us improve the security, the reliability, and the long-term performance of that. On this new server, we'll have more capabilities. During this transition, you will still use the first call help desk to send in any support requests and tickets. And as part of this server migration, we are also working to hire a dedicated program specialist that will be dedicated to all Master Naturalist and Master Gardener WordPress website management. They will not be posting pages or changing your pages or adding text and adding images for you, but they will be doing all of the back end work, answering those first call. This person will be answering those first call tickets, helping to do any plugin management or anything like that. So we're working on hiring and onboarding that person and hoping that we'll have them on within the next several of months. As soon as we do, we will notify you. That onboarding process does pause our Tech Tuesdays that were previously hosted, but this person, as soon as they are on board, will pick up those Tech Tuesdays, and we'll be sharing that information with you as soon as we, those rescheduled dates as soon as we have them. So an email will be sent out summarizing this to all chapter presidents and all WordPress managers as well.
Email that you recently got in your inbox was about the updated password for the chapter templates and resources page. For anyone that's new, this is a password protected page on our website. It has different Canva templates that you can use at the chapter level. It has some social media templates, some QR code graphics, some brochures, PowerPoint templates, just kind of a plethora of items that you can use, so you don't have to create them from the ground up at the local level. That email was sent on the 16th, and I included what the subject line was. If you feel like you didn't receive it, you can use that to search your inbox and see if you can find it. If you didn't receive it, go check your VMS and make sure that you are properly labeled as the president for your chapter, because that's where I pull all the email lists from. And then new templates are added periodically. And if you have any suggestions or recommendations, feel free to let me know. I can't guarantee that they will get added, but it's always good to know what people would be interested in having. Michelle, you want to take these?
Yeah, so we've been reminding our members, and if every month, and if you could help continue these reminders at your local chapter level, the correct use of the TMN title, just further reminders, the Texas Master Naturalist title, your chapter name, and the program, your program and chapter membership should never be used in connection with advocacy or to invoke policy. The Master Naturalist title and certification should never be used for personal gain or profit. Remember that our logo and our title and trademarks are trademarks. Chapters and members through their chapters must seek state office approval when adding them to chapter t-shirts, chapter merchandise, chapter project flyers, etc. And this has all been covered in the brand guide update as well. And then lastly, public comment should only be made as a private citizen. Your Texas Master Naturalist title should never be associated with your public comments. These have been guidelines and policies of the program since the beginning of the program, and you can review those guidelines and policies there at the link.
And then
go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take this one. An update on our chapter logo, again, covered extensively in the brand guide and the presentation that Hannah did on the brand guide. And so this is just a repetitive slide here to just, again, reiterate the importance of use of the TMN brand and logo. As a statewide program, we need to make sure that we're using that logo in a consistent and professional manner. And any chapter-based logos are prohibited. But chapter marks are permitted, and Hannah will provide the full resource gamut folder of a chapter mark that is one of these three options that you see at the bottom. That helps us to maintain our trademark for our program, help to maintain our name for our program, and that consistent image of the Master Naturalist reputation across the state as well.
Moving on, the regional WebEx accounts. These are something that we still have. Your chapter is in need of using an online meeting resource. You don't have your own. These regional WebEx accounts are still available. You can see the region, we kind of split up when we implemented these regional WebEx accounts. We split the chapter or the state into regions, our chapters into regions. And so the region 1 and 3 that you see on the map shares account number 3. The region 2 and 5 that you see on the map share account, the WebEx account 5. And then region 4 and 6 on the map share WebEx account 6. All of our state meetings are held on a state account, state WebEx account that we hold for the state program. And then the regional accounts are available for Master Naturalist chapters to use. If your chapter wants to remain using these and you don't have the login information yet, or if you want to start up using these again and need the login information, let me know and we can get you reoriented to the WebEx accounts if that's something that your chapter wants to use instead of your own account if you have it.
And Michelle, remind me of the capacity of those WebEx accounts. Do you remember? In the hundreds.
Yes. So hundreds of people can attend a meeting at a time. I think it's 300, something like that, on those regional accounts. Okay, and some big updates. We've been giving VMS updates over the past 2 years, and we've actually finally are moving toward a date of some sort. We've been given February 23rd as a consolidation date. So right now there's 2 accounts in the in the VMS system. So one is a Texas Parks and Wildlife account for all other volunteer programs within the agency. And then Texas Master Naturalist has its own account. We are going through, on February 23rd, we are going through a merge of moving houses, so to speak, moving apartments, consolidating apartments. Master Naturalist is going to move from one side of the duplex over into the other side of the duplex, and we'll have one house in the system now. This is very brand new information. We haven't even been able to get a notice out to our VMS admins yet, but we've been given that consolidation date, February 23rd. During that day, we will be instituting a VMS admin no use or no login day for that February 23rd date. We'll be developing protocols for admins to run through the weekend before the consolidation and just jot some notes down about what their system, what your chapter system has in it as far as records at that point in time. And then we'll be developing another tip sheet and desk aid for the first time our VMS admins at the local chapter level log in after consolidation. So we'll have a list of things for them to run through and check. To a local VMS admin, things will look a little different upon a consolidation. But to our general Master Naturalist volunteer just entering ours, things will not look different after consolidation yet. So first part of the process in these updates is the consolidation. Remember, we're moving apartments from one side of the duplex all into the other side of the duplex. And then after that, we'll move towards what they're calling the second part. And of course, the name's going to escape me now, but that's not on the docket yet. So just to prepare you for that week of February 23rd, we've been told to expect, the company has told us to expect a bumpy road that week. The company has promised that they have blocked their schedules for the week to address changes or any fixes that need to be made into that consolidation during that week. So they've blocked their time on their schedules for our Master Naturalist and Texas Parks and Wildlife consolidation to be kind of their primary client at that week. So
answering some questions about that are.
Yeah, so VMS, there's a question in the chat, how long will VMS system be out of service? Technically for the volunteer reporting hours, it will not be out of service. We're asking VMS admins differently. We're asking VMS admins to not log in on February 23rd while the consolidation is happening. So technically just for VMS admins only at the local chapter level, just 24 hours. Okay, and then actually I can address this one the next meeting. If in the essence of time, if we can move forward. One of the things we see in the new year, just especially with changeover of officers and people listing different officers in contacts on their chapter websites, we tend to see an uptick in some scam issues or phishing issues just from that changeover of information taking place on your pub websites. So just things that we've seen over the past in the new year's is a gift card scam, a bank account access, and I need a favor scam that's often kind of sent around via email or text. And one of the first and foremost primary things that we ask our chapters to be first, be wary of these scams, especially within your officers and committee chairs, your board. And then do business. Like if you're going to ask for money, or if your business actually includes or needs to include gift cards, bank account access, that information only be talked about in person during board meetings. And then absolutely, when in doubt, always call the person that is said to be needing to be doing business and talk to them directly when there are requests like this. So always be wary, especially when it comes to money and your chapter's funds. When in doubt, call the person emailing or texting.
It's nice to have that personal touch as well. So we're trying to wrap up here, and so I won't go over this, but if you have questions about ordering different Master Naturalist gear and items, there are a couple of different buckets. There's curriculum that's ordered through our relationship with A&M Press that is offered at discount if you order it in bulk. And so there's details about that on our website and on this slide here. There's also annual meeting bulk orders that will allow you to save on shipping. We've done that every year since we've had the updated curriculum, and will continue to do so. We also have two different types of ordering systems for our Master Naturalist offered shirts and hats and things like that. Our AgriLife Learn, which is constantly stocked, and I'll share the link here in just a second, or our drop ship, which is our pop-up stores that we'll have every now and then. We don't have one going on right now. We typically do one right before the annual meeting, and those are our limited time purchase of different styles of items. So our AgriLife Learn store is the one-stop shop for all things Master Naturalist state offered gear, hats, polos, lanyards. We've got a couple of vests and some jackets in there that would have been nice to have this last weekend if you were out and about this last weekend. But go ahead and think about stocking up now for that inevitable second winter that we'll get here in Texas.
Oh, just this
as you're also,
weekend.
yeah, in this coming weekend. As you're also thinking about ways to show off your Master Naturalist pride, consider putting a license plate on a Master Naturalist license plate on your vehicle, your trailer, your boat, if you have one, thinking for the spring and summer. We have personalized and non-personalized options available through those QR codes and that link on our website. And $22 if each plate does go back to the Master Naturalist program from every plate sold. And so appreciate that continued support. It's not only great for the program, it's great for you. I've got my personalized license plate on my vehicle, and my kids love it when I say we're going in the wild for you wagon. And so it's just another great mom embarrassment moment for them. We also get to see these out and about. I have seen a few on the roads when I've been driving to grocery stores and things, and I caught this one lady in the parking lot of an HEB once, and got to holler at her and say, "Hey, I know where you got that from." So just another fun way to recognize your fellow Master Naturalists out there. And then last but not least, if you are in the season of life where you're thinking about your estate, you're giving for your employment matching, or you have individual or chapter gifts in honorarium or in memorials, or as a way to give back to this program, please consider the Texas Master Naturalist Endowment. We do as a state program, if you're new to our chapter presidents meeting here, we will report our updated balance each month to you. We're sitting right at about 225,000 in that account, and we'll continue to snowball our endowment as we work forward to reaching our goals for that program. If you have any questions about the endowment, feel free to email me or check out that website that is linked there. Okay, and we ran through those last couple of slides quickly, but again, recording and slides will be on the website later this afternoon, if not first thing tomorrow, for any final reviews. We try to have a president's corner at the end of these monthly meetings. Inevitably, we always run long, but if there are discussion questions that you have, when Michelle sends out the meeting notice reminder, please send her those questions that you want to ask during the president's corner if time allows, and we'll address those questions during that discussion period at this moment in the presentation.
Not all of our meetings will be this long. There was a lot to cover with you in the new year, obviously. So yeah, thank you for sticking with us. We're a little bit over time now as it is.
So with that, we will see y'all in February at our next chapter advisors and presidents meeting. That will be February 24th, if we don't see you guys before that. And appreciate your time and your leadership in our chapters. Bye, y'all. Thank you.